Hello guys, in this particular tutorial I will walk you through the methods that are available in the list. So first of all we'll go to the developer console here. So let's go ahead and click on the developer console, and we're going to go ahead and create a program. So now we're going to go ahead and open our execute anonymous window. This is my previous example, so I'm going to just go ahead and delete it, and let me increase the size as well. So now we're going to go ahead and create a list of all my friends' names. Let's say this is my list here. And as I told you, the way to create a list is the name, the word list, and then what will be the elements type of that list, means what kind of elements are you going to add in the list. So then you're going to go ahead and say the name of the list, and I will call it as obj is the name of the list. And then you will say new of list, and then again what kind of elements you are trying to put, the type of the elements, and then this circular braces, and then you're going to go ahead and create it. This is the way to create a list of strings. So you're telling the Apex that I'm creating a list which will have only of elements of string type. I won't add any other type. I will only have the elements of string type. There are different ways of creating a list. This is only one of the way of creating a list, and as we proceed and do more and more examples on list, you will come across other ways of creating a list, but this is one of the way. This way you have created a list here, created a list of elements can only be of type string, and right now the size of you haven't added any element in this particular list. In order to add an element, you will use the add method to add a particular element to the list. So let's say the first friend I'm going to go ahead and add, his name is Ajit. So here this is going to be the first friend that I'm going to add into the list. So now what will happen here is, at this point, what happened is at index of 0, Ajit got added. So this is at this line number 2, at index of 0, Ajit got added. Then let me go ahead and add another friend. So I'll say the same thing, obj dot of add, and then here I will add another friend called Harry, and at line number 3, now I'm adding another element. And remember, in case of list, the sequence matters. Remember that in the case of the list, the sequence matters. So in the order which you're adding the elements, that's how those elements will get added in the list. So the first friend is Ajit, then at index of 1, Harry will get added because you're adding it at line number 3. Now I have added 2 elements in my list. Now next thing is, let's go ahead and add a third friend here. So you're going to go ahead and use the same add method to add, and I'll call it as Steve. So I'm going to go ahead and add another friend of mine, and his name is Steve. So that will get added at this particular index of 2. Now let's go ahead and display all these friends of mine. So how will I go ahead and do? I'll use a system.debug statement to display the elements of the list. So I'll say system.debug, and then I will go ahead and say my friends, and then I'll just say obj. So now it will go ahead and display you all the elements that you have added in the list. So it will display in the order that they got added. So first it will show you Ajit, then Harry, and then Steve. So let's go ahead and run this program. So I'm going to go ahead and say execute. So here you can say Ajit, Harry, and Steve. So the order in which I have added the elements in the list is the same order they have been displayed here. So now let's say, and these elements got added at index of 0, 1, and 2. Now let's say I have 2 more friends that I want to add, and they are very close to me. So I wanted to add them on the number 2 position, the first number and second number position. So what will I say? I can even specify at what index to add. So you can specify the index, because always remember the index starts at 0. So you can even set up at which index do you want to add the next friend. So I will say that at index of 0, I'm going to go ahead and add a friend called Rahul. So then what will happen is, so far what we had was, so far if you remember, at index of 0 we had Ajit, at index of 1 we had Harry, at index of 2 we had Steve, and then I have displayed all these friends, and then I'm saying that go ahead and add Rahul at index of 0. So Ajit will no longer be at index 0. The new list will look something like this. So index of 0, I will have Rahul. Then Ajit will move to the next position. So Ajit will get ahead and get the index of 1. See, remember here, guys, the Ajit is not going to get replaced by Rahul. He will move to the next position because Rahul has taken the index of 0. So Ajit will go to the next one. So now my total number of friends are 4. Initially there were 3. Now I have added a fourth friend named Rahul here. So Ajit, and then remaining, then Harry would be at number 2, and then Steve will be added at index of 3. Now let's say I have another friend that I'm going to add, and I'm going to add him at index of 1. So what will happen in this case is now Ajit will move to the index 2, and then my another friend is going to go ahead and add, and that his name is Justin. So now Justin will get added at index of 1. So now what happened, guys? See, now I am not deleting anything. No friend is getting replaced. They are just moving ahead in the index. So first at Rahul will get added at index of 0. Then at number 1 will be Justin. So Justin will get added here. And then I have Ajit was next. So it will be at index of 2. It'll be Harry at index of 3. And then it'll be Steve at index of 4. So now I have total of 5 friends: Rahul, Justin, Ajit, Harry, and Steve. And this is the way now these elements. Now if I go ahead and display the list, it will display me 5 friends. None of the friends I have removed, they just moved in their index position. If you wanted to go ahead and specify a particular index that you want to add in particular element, then you can go ahead and specify the index here and the element that you wanted to add. Now here I'm going to go ahead and display my new list of friends. In order to do that, I'm going to go ahead and say system.of_debug, and then I'll say new list of friends. And then if I go ahead and execute this time, it's going to go ahead and give me 5 friend list. So now let's go ahead. 5 friend in the list will be there. So let's go ahead and execute it. So the first time it was only 3 friends, and then Rahul and Justin got added at 0 position and the index of 1, and then Ajit, Harry, Steve remained same. Now let's say I wanted to go ahead and wanted to remove Justin from my friend list because I had a bad fight with him, and I wanted to remove him. So how you can remove a particular element from the list? The method to do is called remove method. So remove will go ahead and remove the particular element that you want to remove. So let's say I wanted to remove Justin, and Justin is at index of 1. So what will I say? I'll go ahead and remove Justin here, and then I'll go ahead and display my final list of friends here in which Justin will not be there. So I will say final list of friends. And now if you go ahead and display the object list here, so or this particular variable value, you will be left with 4 friends, and it would be how? It will be something like this. So Justin has been removed. So first position will be of Rahul at index of 0. Then no longer Justin is there. Then Ajit will go back to the position 1. Then it will be Harry, and then it will be Steve at index of 3. So I'm left with 4 friends, no longer Justin. Justin position has been given back to Ajit here, and then the same sequence remains. So now let's go ahead and test this. So we're going to go ahead and execute, and then you're going to go ahead and save. You will see that the third time it's Rahul, Ajit, Harry, and Steve. So the points here to note down in this is, in a case of a list, the sequence that you're adding will matter. So the way you have added the elements, the same sequence will remain throughout. The duplicate values are allowed. duplicate values are allowed. Now what does that mean? Is let's say I have a friend named Ajit again. I have two friends with the same name, and now if I go ahead and go back to I can go ahead and do that. So I can go ahead and add another friend here, obj dot of add, and I can say, let's say Harry. So I have two friends with the same name, Harry. It is allowed in case of list. So in a list, you can add duplicate values. So now what will happen is, if you go ahead and remove, what we're going to go ahead and do, if you go ahead and execute, and let's go ahead and do debug. So now Rahul, Ajit, Harry, Steve, and Harry is going to be the output. This is the final list of friends. Let's go ahead and walk again through the program. So the first time what you did is Ajit got added at index of 0, then Harry got added at index of 1, and then Steve got added at index of 2. Then you came and say, hey, I wanted to put Rahul at index 0. So Rahul will be moved here, and now Ajit will be at this position, and then Harry would be at this position, and then Steve. So 0, 1, 2, and 3. So this is Harry, and this is Ajit. So this is the new list. And then you said Justin also needs to be added at index 1. So now there's no longer Ajit. This will get replaced with Justin. So let me go ahead and create here one more time. So the first position would be Rahul, second would be Justin, and then the third would be Ajit, and then it will be Harry, and then it will be Steve. So 0 index, 1 index, 2 index, 3 index, and 4. And then you are adding Harry again. So then Harry will be added later. So that this is going to be the format it displayed to us if you display here final list of friends. So as you keep on adding, that's how those will get added to the list. So sequence will remain the same the way you have added the elements to the list. And also if you wanted to go ahead and add a particular element at a particular index, you can specify the index as well. If you want to remove a particular element, then you can specify the index of the element that you want to remove. So it will go ahead and remove that particular element from the list. So these are some of the methods that are present in the list class.